Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity Orlando. Our opening statement this morning is, God is inside me and guides my way through every moment of every day. Let's all affirm that together. God is inside me and guides my way through every moment of every day. All right, let's all close our eyes, take a nice deep breath in. Let's affirm that together in the silence. And so it is. You know, I went through last month's affirmation just now, and I think that's okay, right?
It's okay.
Still works.
It's all good, Brian.
All right, I'll stand and help us sing our joy song this morning. Our song is called Spirit Invitation. Spirit, see through me now, hear through me now, and speak through me. Spirit, be with me now, be right here now, and comfort me. Spirit, be in this place, be in my space, and comfort me. Spirit, feel through me now. I feel you now. We are one. Spirit, see through me now, hear through me now, and speak through me. Spirit, be with me now. Here now, we go. Spirit, be in this place, be in my space, and comfort me. Spirit, feel through me now. I feel you now. We are one. Be right here now and comfort me. Be right here now. We are one. All right, thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, Unity Orlando. How's everybody doing today? Great to see your gorgeous faces. Welcome online. I'm Susan Francis, your platform speaker today. I don't think we have visitors. I think I recognize everybody. Couple announcements. Prayer chaplains are available to pray with you after service. Today in the house is Paul. He's a prayer chaplain, and myself. See one of us if you'd like prayer. A reminder that we pray every evening at 8 p.m. Set your alarm and join us in prayer. And we have a new affirmation since we have a new month. The affirmation is, I am an eternal being of light. And internal too. Let's see, the prayer chaplain informational meeting is today after the 11 o'clock service. So if you're interested in becoming a prayer chaplain, come to that. It's probably going to be about 12:30, 12:20 or so. We'll start. Have you noticed when you came in, we have a brand new roof. We are so thrilled. Yay, yes. They did an amazing job. They had a triple crew here of about, 12 people, Paul? And had it finished in one day. So we're grateful for that. The gutters will go up in a couple weeks, and after we pass our final inspection, they'll be doing the insulation. And that's really going to help us with our electric bill. So we are so grateful to all those who donated to pay and cover this roof, and it covers us. So we are truly blessed. A reminder that next Sunday we begin daylight savings. So remember, it's spring forward. So if you don't do that, you're going to be late for service. So
The clock is finally going to be right next.
okay, finally, okay. And yes, so please set your clocks on Saturday evening so you get up at the right time. Let's see, Reverend Bob's lesson is open and receptive. And before I turn it over to Brian, I have a little story to tell you about this man. His name was Matt. And he went into Doc Stevens' office for his annual checkup. And the doc asked if there was anything unusual he should know about. That left it pretty wide open. So he told the doc that he found it really strange how his suit must have shrunk just sitting in the closet because it didn't fit him when he went to get ready for a wedding recently. The doc said, suits don't just shrink sitting there. You probably just put on a few pounds, Matt. That's just it, Doc. I know I haven't gained a single pound since the last time I wore it. Well then, said the doc, you must have a case of furniture disease. What in the world is furniture disease? Well, the doctor said, furniture disease is when you reach that stage in your life when your chest starts sliding into your drawers. That's a good one, right? Not bad. Yeah. And now I'm going to turn it over to Brian.
Wasn't Doc Stevens a trumpet player on The Tonight Show?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I didn't know he was a doctor, too. All right. This song is pretty amazing. It's one of the ones that stuck out in my head for years because of the way I was inspired to write it. And tonight is the Oscars.
Oh.
And I wrote this in 2008, the day after the Oscars, when I saw the people that won the Slumdog Millionaire, all the Oscars that they won. Right? I was like, wow. And then they interviewed one of the ladies that was in the movie because they hired people that were just around in the area to be the actors. And the woman was like, yeah, 3 weeks ago, I was living in a cardboard box, and now I'm on the red carpet.
Oh, wow.
On the Oscar in Hollywood. And she said, it's like I'm caught in a dream. I'm like, light bulb goes off. And so I wrote this song, and I've only played it one time. We've never played it together before as a group here. So I'm kind of excited about it. It's called Caught in a Dream.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Caught in a dream, caught in a fairy tale, it seems, in a world full of visions and possibilities. Caught in a dream, a real life imaginary thing. Reality is visually imaging for me. In a world full of sunshine, come shining down on me. I'm caught in a dream. All that I'm doing is all that I've done. All that I'm winning is all that I've won. All that I'm sharing is all that I've been given. All that I'm loving is simply living. I'm caught in a dream, caught in a fairy tale, it seems, in a world full of visions and possibilities. Caught in a dream, real life imaginary things. Reality is visually imaging for me. In a world full of sun sunshine come shining down on me. I'm caught in a dream. I'm caught in a dream, a heart-shaped life. I'm caught in a dream, the vision's alive. I'm caught in a dream where fairy tales survive. I'm caught in a dream. We're all caught up in a dream.
Oh, that was wonderful. A first timer. Wow. How is everyone today? Well, those who, hello to all of you who are home. If you came, though, you saw the dumpster out there, you know? I mean, the roof looks so natural, you might have missed it if it weren't for leaving the dumpster until Monday, huh? We're moving. We're slowly but surely trying to put things back together in this building and make sure we're got things up to snuff. You enjoying yourself? Good. You know that's what life's for. All this agonizing we do, that's not what it's for. Life's for the joy. Today we're going to talk about open and receptive. We say, oh, I am open and receptive. You know, sometimes I'm not sure we understand what we're saying when we're saying that. It's quite a mouthful. People say that learning to give is hard, and receiving is the easy part. But I don't believe that's actually true. Actually, learning to receive is just as important and even seems to be a little harder. Learning to be open and receptive to God's abundance is much harder than we would imagine. All our human tendencies are towards separation and lack. That's what's natural to the human being. And you've got to be in a consciousness of oneness, not separation, but oneness, to truly be receptive to God's abundance and to attract it into your physical life. So, what is that oneness? The feeling of harmony is the energy that accompanies the realization of oneness. So what I'm saying is, you must be in harmony, let's say with the universe, in harmony with life, in order to claim God's goodness in your life. You tap into God's abundance by blending with the flow rather than fighting against it to get what you need. So let's talk about the flow of God's abundance, being in the flow. The flow is like this wonderful river. It's a river that will bring you everything you need. And And if you're in the center of that flow, everything you need comes to you. The flow brings it, or it brings you to it, whichever way you want to see it. Now, that's the way it is when you're in the center of the flow, and that's what we're shooting for. But we spend a lot of time on the shore. We're afraid, so we cling to the side. We think we're clinging to stability, and what that means is we're not trusting the flow. And opportunities flow right by. They're in the river. We're on the side, and the opportunities just keep flowing right on by us. And we're not out where we can claim it. Now, there is in-between territory, too. I'm going to call that near to the shore. This is where we're still somewhat clinging to our outer security. I've got to have control of things, and I can't just trust the universe to bring me what I want. But I do a little bit. And some good will actually reach you when you're in the shallows, you might say. But it will be slow going. So what constitutes the shallows? What keeps you there? Lack of self-worth, lack of belief in yourself, lack of faith in the flow, anger and resentment or fear. All of these take us away from being in harmony with the flow of goodness. And when we feel in harmony with the flow of God's abundance, things come to us, come right into our life. That's why we do spiritual practices that are designed to get us back in sync with the flow of abundance, back into a consciousness of receptivity. Because here's the deal. As a spiritual being, you deserve the best God has to give. As a human being, while you're living in separation and fear, you're constantly chasing away the flow of abundance right out of your life, just chasing it away. But if you can let go of those emotional blocks to the flow, what am I talking about? Back up. Lack of self-worth, lack of belief in yourself, lack of faith in the flow, anger, resentment, fear, all of those things are the emotional blocks that hold you away from the flow. But if you can let go of the emotional blocks to the flow and move into the expectation of good, what do you expect? Every day when you get up, what do you expect? Do you expect it's going to be rough? Do you expect you're going to have to deal with a whole bunch of stuff? Or do you expect there's some good surprises just waiting for you? What do you expect out of life? Because if you are in expectation of good, you place yourself in the midst of the flow of good things. You're no longer sitting on the shore watching the goodness go by. So, when we begin to master becoming totally open and receptive to God's flow of abundance, we are literally getting off the shore and putting ourselves in the midst of the current where all your good is flowing straight toward you. Or you're being swept downstream to that which is really good and wonderful. I don't care which way you look at it. In Psalm 122:6, we read, "The Lord, they shall prosper who love you." If you love the Spirit that moves through all of life, if you love life, you should prosper. If you fear life, you're on the shore. You've stepped outside the flow. So do you love life? In Ecclesiastes 5:19, it's written, "To every man the Lord has given riches and wealth. This is the gift of God." And we look at that and we go, well, that can't be true. The bottom line is God wants you to live in abundance. But being open and receptive enough to receive the gift is actually a skill, something we're going to have to work at to develop. Now, I've got one more scripture I'm going to go to. It's a parable. Patty said, "What are you going to talk about?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to talk about the parable of the 10 virgins." She said, "Be careful." I assume if you read the parable, you get the impression we're talking about bridesmaids here at a wedding. Okay. And it's a few, what do we want to say, traditions that we're not entirely familiar with. But we get the idea. Here it goes. Matthew 25, 1 through 10. "The kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to greet the bridegroom and the bride. 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. The foolish one took their lamps. Maybe they needed a map to get there, I'm not sure. Leave it to the typist to provide the humor for every talk. The typist being me. They took their lamps, but they took no oil with them. But the wise ones took oil in the vessels with their lamps. Now, as the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight, there was a cry, 'Behold, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to greet him.' Then all the virgins got up and prepared their lamps. And the foolish ones said to the wise ones, 'Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out.' Then the wise ones answered, saying, 'Why? There would not be enough for us and for you. Go to those who sell and buy for yourselves.' And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came. And those who were ready entered with him into the banqueting house, and the door was locked." Okay. Are you ready for your good? You know, so often we're praying for something wonderful to happen, and if it were dropped in our lap in the very next moment, we would really have to scurry. We'd have to go out and buy some oil, right? We're not prepared. If you're going to pray for something, be prepared. I think there's a story of, I think it was Elisha. They asked him to, there's could have been Elijah. It was one of the two. They were back to back. But there was this big battle, and they were trying to go across the desert to surprise the enemy. And the guy said, "Go get a prophet, because we're thirsting to death, and we're going to be in sad shape before we even start this battle." And they get him there, and they say, "We need you to pray for water. Pray for rain or water or whatever. We have to be delivered out of this thirsting to death condition." And his comment was intriguing. He said, "You want me to pray for water? Then go out and dig some ditches around your tents. Because if I pray for water, there's going to be water. You aren't ready for water." And that's us. we need to dig our ditches. We need to make sure we're ready for what we're praying for. Don't pray with the idea of, well, if this actually happens, I'll get ready. Pray knowing it's going to happen, and therefore it's time to get ready now. Part of being open and receptive is being expectant enough that you actually prepare to receive. So, I want to go over a number of ways that we can become open and receptive to God's abundance in our lives. And the first category is set the tone by affirming your harmony with the flow of the universe. Remember I said, harmony is the key to the flow. You can force things through with will. But if you depend on that will, that's a very hard life to live. If you're in harmony, things flow. So the first step to stepping into the flow of God's abundance is to affirm, I'm in harmony with the whole universe. The opposite is, it's me against the world, right? And often we feel that way. We have to fight for everything we get. Okay, but that's not living in the flow. That's not being in the flow of God's abundance. I am in harmony with the whole universe. Can you do that with me? I am in harmony with the whole universe. Now try this one. I am in harmony with my life. Together. I am in harmony with my life. I am in harmony with all I must go through in life. Now think about this one a second. There's a lot of stuff we got to go through we're not that excited about. But if you let it throw you into fear, anger, resentment, it just threw you out of the flow. So whatever I got to go through in this life, together, I am in harmony with all I must go through in life. Again, I am in harmony with all I must go through in life. And we're going to put it all together. Affirmation that I used was one of my yearly affirmations. It was part of an affirmation I used for a whole year. I am open and receptive, ready to receive all the good God has for me. I am open and receptive, ready to receive all the good God has for me. Together, I am open and receptive, ready to receive all the good God has for me. You might have to keep that up for a while. But that moves you back into the current, into the flow. Now, the second category of spiritual practice is going to be getting prepared for your day to be good, right? Every morning, get up and prepare to receive your good. This is putting oil in your lamp. Prepare to receive good. The first thing you're going to do is engage positive expectation. Something good's going to happen to me today. That's the first thing you want to connect with in the morning. Something good's going to happen today. Or maybe you're to the point where it's good things are going to happen all day long. I don't care how you want to embrace it. But basically, we get up, and the very first thing we want to do is to look out and know that good things are going to happen. And then through the whole day, we're looking for them. Where are those good things? And when you find one, take a moment to celebrate. Yeah, there we go. I knew something good was going to happen today. Yeah, well, something not so good happened a minute ago. Yeah, but that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in knowing that something good happened today. I've said forever, life is about emphasis. You get a little bit of everything. What's the part you obsess on? If you obsess on squeaky wheels, you're going to get a whole lot more of them because you're actually inviting them into your flow. So each morning you get up, something good's going to happen today. I'm looking for something good to happen all day long. And when something good happens, I go, there it is. Thank you, God. That's great. But another approach is when you get up in the morning, put on the armor of light. You can do both. Put on the armor of light. Take a moment to remember who you really are. A moment to remember, I am a spiritual being, a being of light. It is so much easier to use spiritual energies to draw good into your life when you first experience yourself as a spiritual being. That's pretty straightforward. You're a being of light. Surround yourself in light and then go out and face your day. Now, the third category of experiences will be expect your good to come and express your expectation by preparing for it. What are you prepared for? You know, we do better at preparing for catastrophe than we do at preparing for tremendous good. Somehow it doesn't seem as important, and it may be even more important. Prepare for receiving the good you're praying for. Are you prepared? Figure out any way you can to be ready for your good when it happens. One of the ways that people have used for years, one of the nice little, it's a fun spiritual principle that gets used. It's called the law of a vacuum, right? Everybody familiar with that one? Basically, those who teach it will talk about people who left the space over the couch blank, just waiting for the right piece of art to come to them. Or I know somebody who had no couch until finally someone gave them this wonderful couch. You know, essentially, you create a space in your life for something good to happen. Okay? By getting rid of what you don't like and do what you don't want. There's another aspect of this law of a vacuum. Our life is often so cluttered that we don't have room for what we really want. My example is way back in my early 30s, I was dating. A little bit. You know, it's kind of hard to date as a minister, so I went to another minister. And his wife set me up. He set me up, and it didn't go well. And then she said, give me a shot at it. So maybe my expectation wasn't really where it should have been. But we got together, and I've often said, this girl was an almost. It was really close. We got together on our blind date and decided, this has potential. And then we sat down and compared calendars. And we literally had no time when we could get together for 6 weeks. Now, I guess neither of us had a life at that time because we both agree. We eventually did do that. But I thought about it and thought, here I am saying I want someone in my life, and I literally have no room for them. I want new furniture. I got no room for it. I want this. I want that. I've got no room for it in my life. This is what the law of a vacuum is all about. It's about creating a space for what you want. Okay. The fourth category is to literally image yourself in the flow of God's abundance. It's really a fun approach. And it's got a bunch of different aspects to it. You would start by affirming, I am in the flow of God's abundance. There's kind of an image that goes with that. I am in the flow of God's abundance. The flow is going to bring to me everything I need. Well, it's not enough to image it. You have to feel yourself in the midst of the flow of the universe's good. Feel that that's actually what's happening. I'm in that flow. If you're in harmony, you feel that. There is a harmonious flow, a flow that is harmoniously bringing to me the things that I need in life. So, maybe you want to go into meditation. And in meditation, just image yourself with arms outstretched, open and receptive. And feel the current, the divine current that is constantly carrying you to your highest good. Feel the current. In meditation, just feel that current. There is a current. There's an undertow to life that is constantly trying to tug you toward your highest good. You're allowed to swim another direction. But if you can trust the current is trying to carry you to your highest good. So spend some time in meditation, trying to feel. If you feel, what do I want to say, intensely enough, on this subtle level enough, you'll literally feel that life is pulling you forward towards some greater good. And spending time in meditation on that, well, that really does open you up. Then realize, as part of this, what I hold my attention on will grow in my life. What I hold my attention upon will grow in my life. And so as you find you need certain things, you can essentially begin to know that the flow is bringing it to you. Oh, I used to do that with furniture and things like that. If I needed something, I knew that somebody would be saying, I've got this and I need to get rid of it. Somebody would be, and it would come to me. I remember one time in particular, it was quite a while back, but Karen came to me and says, we need a new mattress in the guest bedroom. We've got to have something. You know, what we've got is horrendous. So I guess we just have to go out and buy one. And I was a great one for just believing that, you know, someone will. I said, no, let's hold off for a little while. Let's just wait. And about 3-4 weeks down the road, one of her best friends came to her and said, I have a mattress I need to get rid of. It's been slept on once. Would you like to have it? That's the flow. That's things coming out of the flow. And of course, there's the story of Harold Sherman, who had a little different approach to the flow. He had developed, I've told it before, he had developed this ultimately lethal disease that was extremely rare. There are only a few cases in the United States. No one knew how to treat it, and it would eventually take away his ability to speak and down the road kill him. And he held in mind, there is someone in this world who knows how to cure my disease. And that person's going to come to me sometime, somewhere. I am drawing to me the person who knows what I need to know. I don't know, I've used that one over and over. I'll be drawing to me someone who knows what I need to know in this situation. Well, his story was that he went off to this lecture. This guy had been down in Brazil in the rainforest and hanging out with primitive tribes down there. And he just had this really interest in it. And he heard the guy describing the whole thing. He got all excited, did something he had never done before. He asked the guy if he wanted to go to lunch with him. And the guy said, sure, I'll go to lunch with you. The guy was a doctor, right? Been working down in the rainforest. And he's clearing his throat a few times, Harold Sherman is, during the lunch, when the guy said, what's going on with you? And he had told no one. He was like, this is my private thing. I don't really share it. But this time he had the impulse to share, so he did. And he's about 3/4 of the way through the description of everything and what doctors say it is and so forth and all of this. And the guy pulls out some paper and starts writing, and his first thought is, he's not that interested. But as he finishes up, the guy hands him the paper and says, here. And he says, what's this? He says, that's the prescription that will take care of what you've got. He said, what? He said, yeah, down in the Amazon, we lost a lot of people to this disease, and we tried everything. And this is the exact combination that works. Take it to your pharmacist, have it filled. Well, Harold was a great lecturer for a long time, so we know how that came out. He was healed. But he trusted the flow to bring him what he needed to know. Now, what are we on? We are on the categories called image yourself in the flow. Okay, if you're in the flow, you're going to have to open every door that's presented to you. You know, it's like these game shows. Something good is behind one of the doors. But you may have to open them all before you get there. So basically, you can't say, oh, I've already tried that, or no, I don't want to do that. Or if an opportunity presents itself, you open the door. It doesn't mean you have to do it, but you have to open the door. You have to take a look and see, does this have the potential to be what I need? And so you open door after door after door. And before long, you start saying, I don't think there's anything behind these doors. And my advice will be keep opening the doors. Because your job is to open every door that is presented. God's job is to make sure there's something behind one of them. I can't tell you how many doors you'll have to open. But you have to be willing to look into whatever is presented to you. One last aspect. Learn to recognize your good when it's different from what you expected. Sometimes what you're praying for, we have this image in our mind of exactly what it's going to look like. And yet our answer is right there, staring us in the face. But because it doesn't look like our preconceived ideas, it's not our answer. That's me and my healing when I went out to Unity Village. I've told it over and over. I went out there because with a bad back because I had used my anger to move a boulder into a rock wall at my parents' place. Funny thing, using anger often turns out badly. But in any case, I decided as a Unity minister, I'm going to have my healing, and I know what that looks like. God's going to come get me. God's going to come heal me. It's just going to happen. There are going to be no other people involved in this process. It's just me and God, and that's the way it is. And I'm not saying it can't happen that way. But I am saying it can be short-sighted the same way the joke goes about the minister on the church roof during the flood, right? Yeah, guy comes by in a rowboat, guy comes by in a motorboat. Every time he tells them, no, God's going to save me. And then the helicopter, and he turns that down. And then he dies because he wasn't open to what was being offered. For me, I went 3 months in more pain. From the very first day after I decided this, my girlfriend had said, you need to come see my chiropractor. Yeah, see, they know because I've told this story recently. And I know I told it not long ago, but it really fits. And I said, no, God's going to heal me. I was that minister on the roof of the church. No, God's going to save me. And after 3 more months of pain, I said, okay, Anita, give me your doctor's phone number. I called in one session. She took care of me doing something I've never seen anyone else, and I've seen a lot, never seen anyone else do. And I thought, wow, you have to be willing to open every door. Because sometimes it doesn't look like you were so convinced it would be. And yet, what it creates is the same energy that you deeply desire. I just wanted to be healed. The fact that Dr. Betty kicked the table and swung my body around a little bit and did things I couldn't even feel happening doesn't really matter. I got my healing. So, open every door. Be willing to accept that your answer may not look exactly like you thought it would. And that leaves us at number 5. Maybe it should have been number 1. It's possibly the most important. clear away the blockages to the flow of abundance in your life. If the slow flow of good things, the flow of what you're praying for is sluggish, look for the negative emotions you can clear away. Like I said earlier, these negative emotions just put you right up on shore. These negative emotions carry you out of the flow and onto the sidelines. That's what they do every single time. Now, you can walk along the beach, it's going to be hard going. I had a couple come into my office. Okay, bottom line, I have no news stories. Every story I tell, I've told at some point in the last 30 years. Well, sometime back, there was a couple came into my office, and they wanted to know how they could demonstrate prosperity in their life. They said, it's not working. It's so sluggish. And we examined everything. They were doing everything right. Finally, I said, well, let's look and see what's going on in your life. How do you feel? What's happening? And in the end, they slipped up and told me they had this deep resentment of family. I went, oh, okay. We got some forgiveness work to do here. Paul hit that one real good a couple of weeks ago. We're going to have to forgive this, and get this out of the way. And they didn't want to. No, we just want to make these principles work. Well, as long as you've got this resentment, they probably aren't going to work. You're up on shore. And when they left, I don't think they'd still made their peace with the idea that they needed to forgive the family for the way they'd been treated. But if you want to be in the flow, if you want good things to come to you effortlessly, well, my advice is go on a forgiveness regime. Paul gave a whole talk to it. He made it really good. If things aren't flowing, figure out who or what you can forgive. Have you heard of the 4T prosperity program? Most people around here have. Okay, for years we taught it every single year. Stratton Smith, who authored that program, talks about one situation where he was used to praying and things happening, okay? And he's trying to sell his condo in California so he can go to his church in Hawaii. Yeah, he always demonstrated good things. So, in any case, and he had set in his mind what the selling price ought to be, when the closing needed to happen. He had all these dates in mind, and everything was going ba-boom, 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 right down the line, exactly as he had set his sights upon. What you hold in mind comes into your life. Until he had his buyer. They had a good credit history. There was no reason for it, but the loan was turned down. His real estate agent called him and said, I'm sorry, they turned down the loan. I have no idea why. These people are good. And he said, well, that's so weird. Everything's flowed so perfectly until now. He said, who's making the loan? He said, well, Sears Holding Company. He said, oh, okay, I worked for Sears for 30 years. Give me the weekend and I'll get back with you on Monday. And he started going through the entire 30 years. He thought he'd already forgiven everything, right? There's always more. It's like an onion. You can keep peeling it. And so he went back, and year by year, he went through everything that had happened and forgave it and released it and forgave it and released it. And first thing Monday morning, his broker called him and said, something just happened that I have never seen before. The underwriters turned around. After they had turned it down, they're now okaying it. I've never seen them change their mind, ever. He says, yeah, okay, I might know why that happened. If you can clear the resentments, the fear, the sadness, the horror, whatever it is that's going on inside of you that is of negative quality, if you can clear that out of the way, the flow automatically starts again. Just clearing out the negativity places you back in the current. Because as a spiritual being, that's where you belong, in the current. So work in your life to remove fear, to remove anger, cynicism, my favorite, or sadness. Well, we can't be held as responsible for the fact that I'm just plain sad. Yeah, you can actually. At least life holds us responsible. So fear, anger, cynicism, sadness, we need to clear them out of the way to make way for the flow to move in our lives in absolute harmony. So, wrap it up. As children of God, the flow of the universe is meant to bring us everything we need. But to tap into this flow of God's goodness, we must blend with the flow, blend with, be in harmony with the universe, not fight against it to get what we want. So embrace the flow. Feel the divine current carrying you to your highest good. That undertow constantly pulling you towards something greater. Abandon your human feelings of separation and lack and begin to claim God's abundance as the child of God that you are. Remember my favorite affirmation and know it yourself. I am in harmony with the flow of life. I am open and receptive, ready to receive all the good God has for me. Then dwell in the joy of that realization. Let's close our eyes and move into this state of consciousness a little bit. Take a deep breath and sigh it out. We move within. We turn our attention within. We move into our hearts. I am. Out of your heart, not out of your head. I am. Be centered in your heart as you realize I am in harmony with the flow of life. I am in harmony with the flow of the universe. And I am open and receptive, ready to receive all the good God has for me. Feel yourself in harmony with the whole universe. I am one with all life. I'm part of it all. I'm in harmony with my life and everything in it. Rather than resisting my way through life, I let go of the resistance. And I embrace life. Look into your consciousness, your memories from the past. Maybe your memories from right now. And find any resentments you have, any anger, any feelings of injustice, and let it go. Release it. You don't have to have these feelings inside of you anymore. We forgive them. We don't need to carry this negativity any further, and as we usher out the resentment, we feel the flow again taking up in our life. Look at the things you fear. And in place of the fear, put trust of God. And trust God to bring you what you need in this life. And as we let go of those blocks that hold us back, we can feel the release, the relief. A spirit flowing in our lives in a dynamic way. I am in harmony with the whole universe. I am in harmony with my life and everything in it. And feel yourself in the midst of the river, the midst of the divine current. Can you feel it? That divine current of life that is constantly, subtly moving you toward your highest good. And rejoice in God, rejoice in the Spirit that is moving you toward your highest good. Give thanks. Feel all that you are desiring and praying for, being drawn into your life. That which my mind is placed upon is being drawn into my life. Now in your mind, just image yourself standing in the midst of the flow of life. Your arms outstretched, open and receptive to all the goodness that the flow of life is already bringing your way. Feel the gratitude that swells up in your heart. Thank you, God. For those who love the Lord shall prosper. Thank you, God. The usher will come forward. We'll prepare for offering. For those of you at home trying to figure out how to give your offering to truly be part of us, and we are grateful because your support is what keeps us going. There's several ways you can do it. At the end of service, you can go to the home page. You know, that is unityorlando.org, the home page. Hit the Donate Now button. Use a credit card or PayPal. You can pull off our address and mail us a check, or you can use Zelle, but please, it gets lost in cyberspace unless you use our email address, unityorlando@gmail.com, okay? That's how you use Zelle. So many people have moved to Zelle. Me, I'm a creature of the last millennium. I'd probably pull off the address and mail a check. I remember the salesman who was trying to sell us something, and he said, you know, at the end, there is money, and you will get a piece of paper that literally is treated like cash. They call it a check. And we looked at him and thought, who is this guy? We grew up in that world. Oh, well. Anyway, enough of that. Let's bless our offering together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. Thank you, God. Amen.
Here's a song I wrote about the same time as Caught in a Dream, maybe a little later. A friend of mine from California said, I need a song called The Door is Open. I said, okay, here you go. And it was written, The Door is Open. Space so I can get rid of it. Open my eyes so I can see through it. Open up my mind. The door is open. Clear my mind so I can just think of it. Open my heart so I can really feel it. Welcome in my life. The door is open. I step into my life with a heart wide open. The situations realign to higher vibration. The spirit comes alive, transmutated my whole life. Clear my mind so I can just think of it. Open my heart so I can really feel it. Welcome in my life. The door is open. Creating my life whenever I think of it. God's love comes through and I really feel it. God comes through my life with a heart wide open. I step into my life with a heart wide open. And situations realign to higher vibrations. The spirit comes alive, transmutated my whole life. Clear my space so I can get rid of it. Open my eyes so I can see through it. Open up my mind. The door is open. I step into my life with a heart wide open. And situations realign to higher vibrations. The spirit comes alive, transmutated my whole life. Clear my space so I can get rid of it. Open my eyes so I can see through it. Open up my mind, the door is open. So I can just think of it. Open my heart so I can really feel it. Welcome in my life, the door is open. Clear my mind so I can just think of it. Open my heart so I can really feel it. Welcome in my life, the door is wide open.
Well, that certainly is the perfect way to end this service. That was great. Thank you. And thank you all who are here and all of you who are watching from home. Thank you for being Unity Orlando. My friends, my companions on this journey through this most interesting life. Next week, I'll be speaking on getting beyond growing pains. I know you want to know what it's all about. I'm going to have to look. Getting beyond growing pains. Okay, let's all rise. Let's close by blessing our whole world with the prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you all. Have a wonderful week. Once again, that's for those at home. We sing.